Welcome to That's Why We're Friends,
the podcast where we laugh a lot, talk about real life, and hold on to faith through it all.
We're two friends navigating the oldish season of life and celebrating the kind of friendships that make it all a little easier.
So whether you're feeling overwhelmed, hopeful, or just need a laugh, this podcast is for you.
Pull up a chair and join the conversation.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Cara.
How's it going?
Well, we're here.
I know.
It's happening.
It's our first episode.
The podcast.
Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. It has been a long time coming in months and hours. Today.
Actually, so true. We've worked so hard on the tech for this podcast.
Yes.
But we've actually worked really hard on this dream that we came up with, we thought, our own. Like on January 1st, we were out for a walk and I think we thought we had some really important things to say. And we jokingly said we should start a podcast.
Yeah. And then just continue the conversation of like, I think just randomly, if that would be a podcast conversation, that would be a podcast conversation. And then I think after a few weeks or months, it was like, okay, is this just like a thing we're joking about, or do we really feel like this is something the Lord is inviting us to? So
yeah,
started praying and kind of getting serious. And then it was like, okay, yeah, we feel like God is in this and we're going to do it. So podcast, here we come.
Yeah, that's right. And so we took it to God as if it was our idea alone. Yeah. And I'm sure he got a chuckle. But he started just downloading things to us and revealing things. We started a shared note, which is where we put all of our ideas. And I feel like every day I'd wake up to like, you've added some stuff. And we were praying really about what to name the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we just kept talking about like, what should the name be? What should the name be? And we thought it was going to be the Cara and Sara show.
Yeah.
And one morning we both showed up to church and for some reason we were talking and I looked down and we were wearing the same bracelets. And I was like, oh, look, we have on the same bracelets. And you said,
that's why we're friends.
And immediately we locked eyes.
Yes, we just knew.
Yeah, we knew that was the name of the podcast.
Yeah, it was it was the coolest moment just because we had like pray, like it was one of the things in our shared note of like, okay, Lord, what's the name of it? What's it called?
Yeah.
And so it was just so cool that day because we both just instantly knew at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we're friends.
And really thinking about it now, I hadn't really thought about this until just now. The fact that we were just standing at church, like the place that we know where we meet the Spirit every week. And we sit beside each other at church every week. And sometimes we get in trouble for talking a little bit.
It's true.
Yeah.
It happens.
So it was just great that it happened standing right there. Yeah.
And that's the foundation in the beginning of just why we know each other.
That's right.
And so, I don't know, we'll talk a lot about that. But today, really, I think we want to find out, okay, who are we? We kind of talked about how we got here. So who is Cara? What do we need to know about the fabulous Cara?
I don't know about fabulous, but I definitely live a lot of life. And I've been married for just over 30 years to my husband, Jeff. And we've got two great kids, Connor and Catherine. And our son, Connor, is married to Maddie, our daughter-in-law. They have a baby, Lacey. So I'm a Grammy, which is my highest role. I love it so much. Everything people tell you about being a grandma is actually true. It is so wonderful and amazing. And she's just a perfect little baby. So yeah, of course. I know. I remember when
I know I've met her. So
yeah. Well, one day you asked me like, is she ever going to not be perfect? And I was like, absolutely not.
Never.
She's always going to be perfect. So yeah, so I do that. That's my family. I love to CrossFit. I love my dog Scout. Probably more than a lot of people in my life. I work as a nutrition coach and have a food blog. And so that's kind of the fullness of my life. I feel like we travel quite a bit. We go here and yonder and about. And church, we're involved at church. Yeah. So we're there a lot. We see each other a lot together at different things at church. And that's about the gist of me and my current situation.
There you go.
Yeah.
You lead a small group?
I do. I lead a circle of young adults at church, and that's something else we have in common, which we talk about often because those girls keep us on our toes for sure. And
they do.
I feel like they're keeping us youngish.
Definitely, yes, for sure. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So tell the people about you.
So, yeah, are we saying our ages? We're talking about oldish.
Oh, we sure.
Okay.
We should say.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yes.
I just turned 50 in May, which was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. I had a little birthday party in Cabo, and you came, and some of my other friends came, and
it was great.
It was great. Yeah.
It's very relaxing. So I am about to be 47. 46, but I'm already kind of saying 47.
Yeah.
So, let's see, married to my husband, Paul. We have been married for a little over 10 years, and we're a blended family. So when we met and got married, he had 3 kids. They were 8, 10, and 11-ish, around that time. And so he brought the 3 kids. And I brought a 2-year-old Bichon named London. So I was very easy to blend with from that perspective. And so that's our bunch. The kids are all, out or semi-out. Our youngest is she's sophomore at OU, not a freshman anymore, sophomore. And our my middle stepdaughter is graduated from the University of Michigan, go Blue, and is doing a 1-year master's program. So she's staying there playing water polo. And then our oldest, Caleb, is also married. And they just had 1-year anniversary this summer. And so I'm not a Grammy yet, but I'm hopeful that I won't have to wait super, super long, but we'll see. I have worked in ministry off and on for the last, 20 years or so, 24, 25 years, but currently am in graduate school getting my master's in professional counseling. So I'm about halfway through. I have a little over a year left to finish my degree. So that is the majority of what life has been like in this empty nest season of going back to school and doing all those things. So,
yeah. And I give you a lot of practice in counseling, I feel like.
I think we all have our own journeys where I get to practice on myself and friends and strangers maybe in the grocery store, but they don't realize it. No,
psychoanalyzing everyone that's in line in front of you.
No, I don't.
Oh, she's buying that chocolate because she obviously has problems.
And what kind is it? Because I want to go get some.
Right, exactly.
That's how that goes.
That's exactly. So let's define oldish. I feel like we coined that word. I don't remember when.
We keep talking about this because I don't think we coined it, and we wouldn't have said that we coined it, but without fail, every time we mention it to someone, oldish, they die, just think, oh my gosh, that's so great. And I'm like, I know, it's just, we just put ish on the end of it. And so I know we weren't the first ones to do that. But for some reason that's just resonating. And I think, again, that's just one of the things where the Lord is just kind of, giving his favor and just kind of smiling on us and letting us have fun with it. Because it's, it's this idea of I think we all maybe have a negative connotation with old, old. It means old. All these things. And it's just that ish. It just makes things, cuter.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we just liked that better. And everybody else seems to like it too. So we're going to run with it. And
yeah, everybody we mention it to just sort of chuckles at that word. And honestly, I really think you're the first person that said it in our relationship about this podcast. I think you said oldish. But it's funny, I was in the conversation with another friend yesterday, and she said, I feel like you put ish at the end of every word. And I was like, I do? And she said, yeah. And then she said, I don't think you're oldish. How do you define oldish? Which made me think, I really think we should talk about that.
Yeah.
How do we define oldish? So what I said to her was, it's that season of life where your body is changing again, right? As women, our bodies change so many times from our preteen years through menopause. So our body's changing again. And we wake up every day with maybe a new ache or pain. Most of our dinners with friends turn to who's taking what supplements, who's purchased a weighted vest, who's playing pickleball or mahjong, right? It's just this thing that everyone our age is doing. Yeah. And I think we all are enjoying the fact that we are a little older and we have a little more wisdom, but we're not quite ready to be old. We're still fun. We still want to have fun, but we probably want to be in bed by 9.
100%. If not 8:45.
Right, exactly. Well, I go to bed before 8:45 even.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, I'm an early to bed, early to rise.
100%.
Yeah, you are too.
Yes.
a lot of our listeners and watchers may not be
And that's
that
okay.
early, and that's okay. That's fine.
Yes.
But I think we all can value our sleep at this age. We're not about like just being tired all the time.
No.
Yeah.
Don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Oldish is great. And it just makes it a little more fun and cute.
Yeah.
Like, it's just cute.
Yeah. Do you have any other things that you would say would be like oldish?
Oldish. If you have readers
Oh, yeah.
in your purse, or your husband's readers in your purse, which I have both.
Yeah.
If getting those said readers is because you sit down and look at the menu and it's so dark.
It's so dark. And you turn your flashlight on your phone to see.
Even though it's 5:30 and you're at the restaurant, but it's dark inside the restaurant and you can't read. The supplements, I think some of the just, it depends on what your decade, what your generation was. But
Sure.
I think you start to be more nostalgic about whether it was the 80s or, the 90s, and identifying with those things. Definitely if you have like an oldies station and you go to the oldies station, that's like your jam, and you know every word to the song. So I think those are kind of, what oldish means to us. And I think as we go, we'll discover more, this
Sure.
is oldish, or, and maybe people who are watching and listening can let us know, what oldish, how they knew, or how they're figuring out that they're in this like oldish place. So I think a lot of it is, I remember when I turned 40, there was just this incredible freedom of something just clicked of like, I don't care about certain things, like in a good way.
Yeah.
That there's just a certain like confidence or, just, I don't know, foundation, whether it's in my relationship with God and just having some seasons of walking with him. And so I think there's some confidence in it, because it is saying, okay, this is midlife. We joke about, midlife,
Yeah.
but if my math is right, odds are this is midlife. But
Right.
it's taking that, instead of it being a negative, I think it's choosing, man, what are all the great things that God is still going to do over these next few years? Because if we're here, we have a purpose. And so I think, to me, the oldish is just like grabbing all the positive things about the realities of midlife and just claiming them and saying, like, yes, I am oldish and it's great, and here's all the reasons why.
Yeah, I think that's totally true. And it's funny, you said that when you turned 40 you felt that way. I feel like for me, I kind of felt that going into turning 50. And I think it's because for so long, my husband's 5 years older than me. And so I think for so long, I was the youngest of all of our friends. Now, not so much because you're in the mix now. You lower our median age. But
You're welcome.
I feel like I was always the youngest, and I kind of always felt a little left out when they talked about like the things that were happening, right? The readers, all the things. Although I will say that my husband has definitely needed readers for probably almost 10 years. And I always made fun of him. And I really could see so well up until about 2 years ago. And I just remember the day that I was looking, I can't remember if it was a menu or something. I always brag about the fact that I could turn like a little pill bottle over and read it with no problem at all, and make fun of him. And I remember the day I was looking at something, I was like, oh no, everything's blurry. And I'm like, doing the whole, like, move it backwards, move my head, get in the light, like what's going on? So, but I do feel like going into 50 for me, and maybe it is just the fact that I did become a Grammy. I don't know. Maybe that kind of does something to you. Like you feel a little, I just remember always thinking my Grammy was so wise and she knew everything. I actually remember telling my mom that when I was a kid. My mom said something and I said, you don't know anything, Grammy knows. And, I just think maybe it's like, okay, well, I'm hitting that phase of life where I am going to be the older person in the room. And I like it. I really do like it. And I also think something that I have held on to for many years, because I have been through quite a few difficult circumstances in life, I feel like looking back on the difficulties and the things that I've gone through and God's faithfulness, I wouldn't change those things, because if I did, I, number one, wouldn't experience him in those ways. But number two, I wouldn't have gained just the wisdom and the trust that I had for him through that. And so I think being oldish is great because you have gotten to experience life, right? So I'm super excited about sharing our oldish lives with all of our oldish listeners and watchers.
Me too. We're going to have so much fun.
I know.
And I don't know if this is a reflection of us being oldish or getting oldish, but we don't remember or really know how we met.
We don't.
And so I don't know if that is a sign of that you're oldish if you can't remember how you met your friends.
It's funny because so many of my friends I can remember, but you were just like this like genie that popped out of a bottle or something.
Yeah, we can recount just the different times that we know that we've interacted, or we had a lot of mutual friends, I think. For, we both attend the same church, and I've been at that church for 11, 12 years. And it was pretty soon after that I met Paul, my now husband. And, it was sometime in that mix that I think there maybe was an awareness, but I just, as far as like, when did I, meet, hi, this is Cara Price. Oh, this is like, no idea.
I don't think there was a formal introduction.
Sure.
I do think that it happened maybe around 4 years ago. What I do know is that I do know that for years, our circles of friends butted up against each other because people would tell me about you, and you used to teach yoga, which I remember someone specifically telling me, oh, you need to go to Sarah's yoga class. And for whatever reason, it just never worked and I didn't go. But I know that our circles butted up against each other. And then I think about 4 years ago, our husbands ended up in a group together. And so then maybe it was just that our husbands got closer. So we began to know a little more about each other on the fringe. And then that group of people had a Christmas party, maybe something we were at the same time. Like the wives attended, right, with the guys.
Yeah.
And so then we just started talking.
Is that when I ate your cookie dough?
Well, no, that I honestly think that happened a little later because that day that you ate the cookie dough out of the fridge, you showed up early to help set up. The party was at my house. And you were like, I can come early. And I'm like, great, come early. And so you came, but that party, I remember the dessert was cookies. And another friend of ours was here, and a mutual friend. Yeah. And I was like, oh, these aren't gluten-free because we're all gluten-free. And so...
Well, I'm not gluten-free, but
at the time, did you think you were?
You know what? That's before I had my surgery. So yes, I was... Yes, being more careful with gluten because I was having some issues.
So you're being careful about gluten, but you're definitely dairy-free and egg-free. And I remember that y'all asked about the cookies, and I was like, this is what there is, And I said, but I do have this other brand of like vegan cookies in the other fridge, in the other room. And I was like, y'all can go get those. And I thought you would go get them and I would bake them for you. And then like 5 minutes later, I walked in the room and you and our other friend are standing with the fridge door open. Just, you cut open the package and you're just like eating cookie dough standing there. And I walked in and I was like, well, okay, you can do it that way too, but I'll bake those for you. And y'all were like, no, we're fine. And you just kept eating cookie dough. The whole party is going, I mean, that party was a big party. Yeah. There were a lot of people here and it's going on around you and you're just standing in front of a fridge eating cookie dough. And that's when I knew you were my person for sure.
Thankfully. Otherwise, it's like one of the low points of my life of like that you're telling these people, yeah, this weird woman was in my house just like eating cookie dough. And yeah, I have not seen her since that. And like, so it could, that was like, I honestly don't know what I was thinking.
Well, and I'm such a foodie, and we found out that you also are a foodie because we've bonded over a lot of food. So I mean, I love it when people eat, and my whole thing is I never like for anyone to be hungry. I'm always like, here, let me give you food. So I loved it that you were just standing there eating cookie dough. It's great.
In my defense, there weren't people like in that part of. It's not like there was an audience.
That's valid.
And I was just standing there. It was kind of like a separate area. Yeah. So just in my defense, if that's needed.
That does definitely make it better.
Okay, thank you.
But I do feel like that was the first moment I definitely remember you being in my life. And then
it's kind of memorable.
We both, over the last couple of years, have walked through some very hard things. And I feel like, well, you know what? Let's back up. So then remember, 3 years ago? We invited you guys to a nonprofit gala.
Oh, yes.
That was the night. That was after the cookie dough incident. But
I'm pretty sure.
But I think that was the night that we really started talking a lot, because you talked my husband into buying a trip to Italy at that gala.
Yes. Well, yes.
Right.
Together. Like,
Yeah.
not, hey, buy me a trip to Italy, but like, why don't we
Yeah, so
split
it was a trip for 6 people.
Yes.
And you talked him into buying this trip, and then we were going to split it. You guys were going to go with us, and we were going to invite another couple.
And it was like a full year later or more.
Right. Yeah, it was going to be a year later when we were going to go, and so then we spent that next year sort of planning, and then your husband had some health issues, which was disappointing, because then you guys couldn't go on that Italy trip. Yeah. And that was just a really hard season for y'all. Yeah. And I think that, we talked a lot through that season. Yeah. And then just after the Italy trip we went on, then I had a really hard season, and you showed up for me just like, don't start crying yet. I see tears welling up in your eyes. I just remember you were like, I had so many precious friends through that season that would show up for me. But you were the friend that when I would send that like SOS text message, you were either, my phone was ringing immediately or you were knocking on my door. And I just feel like that through that season, we really grew closer. And so the past couple of years, I think just each of us dealing with like kind of a crisis in our home has really just led us to this place. And, the last several months, as I'm kind of at the end of healing a little bit, I feel like, it's become just so much fun with you, and you're funny and you make me laugh. And so, yeah, it's good. Here we are. Doing a podcast.
Crying, laughing, all the things. That'll probably be the norm.
That's right. Yeah. I think it will be for sure.
Yes, because I think that is a lot of our friendship. And I think, we joke about, long-term friend. Like we haven't been friends for decades.
Right.
But I think, when the Lord is that like ultimate foundation of your friendship, time kind of becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
And then I think also, like you said, the journeys that we just happen to walk through in 2024, there was just a lot of that when you're struggling and in pain, like together, they're just, I don't know, you almost just kind of like fast forward your friendship. You kind of like jump through niceties and you go straight to, eating cookie dough out of their fridge and showing up at the house. And so those crises, and when you have that faith foundation, you kind of just push through those walls and those barriers.
Yeah, really fast.
To just like,
Although I will say, I do feel like we were really deep friends. And then for some reason, my husband and I just got to sign the wall in your house. Can you explain the wall?
Oh my gosh, already getting in trouble. So I have to give credit to my brother and his wife, because I totally ripped this off from them. But when they built a house and moved into it years ago, probably like 20 years ago, they designated their laundry room, which was like the entrance to the main entrance. They weren't very like formal, so a lot of people came in the laundry room. So they had people just sign the wall,
like
in the
drywall,
room. Yeah,
like what's on the wall,
yes,
the painted
just
wall,
right on the wall, like the name and date of like the first time that you're at our new house.
Yeah.
And so I just remember thinking that was such a cool idea. I'd never seen anything like that. So we got married in 2015. And in 2016, we moved in. So we lived in a house for a year, and then we moved to a new house. So the house that we're in right now, we've been in since 2016. And so I really wanted to kind of take that idea, but I just Sarafied it a little bit. So what we did is kind of, you have like a area by your pantry and hall tree. And so it's by our garage entryway, but I took a big, huge part of that wall and had my husband like frame it. So take like...
Yeah, it's very pretty.
I don't know.
It's not
what,
just like
trim.
It's not just a plain wall.
Yeah, so he took trim and just made a frame, and then we painted the inside of it like a pretty, like very light gray. And then I found a stencil thing at Hobby Lobby that says like, bless this home and all who enter. And so then in that frame, then we all signed the wall, like us, me and Paul and the kids, that, once we had moved in, and he finished that. And then ever since then, every time someone comes to our house for the first time, they sign and date the wall. So you were in my house last summer after my surgery.
I've been in your house quite a few
but
times.
It's been kind of like a comment, like you were dropping off food and like you, and in my defense, I had just had an organ removed. And so I didn't think about having you sign the wall. I'm very sorry. But it was usually stuff like that.
I also came to like give you decorating advice.
That did
I
happen.
sat there for
that
an
happened.
hour.
Okay, that's
and I
fair.
didn't get invited to sign your wall.
That happened. I apologize. Please forgive me. To add it to the list.
Maybe it's because you wanted Jeff and I together since we're 100% unified and we're one.
Yes, one flesh. That's 100% what it was.
Okay.
So then
I'm going to justify the whole wall thing.
So then a little while later, because Jeff hadn't been to the house.
That's right.
Ever at that point.
Yeah, that's right.
And so
because Jeff doesn't like to get out of his own house.
But we convinced you guys to come over. We had dinner and a movie night. It was so fun. And then we had you guys sign the wall. And what was meant to be a beautiful moment suddenly turned into, I don't know if it was you or if it was Jeff first, of like, well, this goes back to 2016. Like, how come we're just, and it was like, there's not a reason. And so I think I threw back at him like, well, why wasn't I at Connor's wedding? Like, why wouldn't we do anything? And so yes, that's the wall story. And but now you're there. And
I know.
I'm there forever. And
yeah, I'll be there forever.
Forever.
Unless you move, you get to cut that wall out.
That is my plan. I don't know how that will work. I'm going to trust.
I for sure
other
feel
people
like
to figure it out, but I just feel like there is a way to just, I don't know. We'll cut it out and transport it, and somehow it's going to work in my head. Anyway, we'll see if that happens.
Oh, I absolutely think it's going to work. We'll find the person to make it work.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I'm glad I have your help in that.
Good. Okay, well, we thought it would be really fun to help people get to know us a little bit, to ask each other some funny questions. And so you found these on Instagram. And which that's something else that you have brought to my life. So I haven't been on social media for a long time. And so you used to have to and we still do, like old school, like send me like reels and stuff, like as a text message. I had to copy the link, go to my text messages, send it to you.
But we still do that, or I do that.
I know, but I'm going to start now sending them in the direct message.
Okay, well, you'll have to show me. Okay, I'll have to figure out again how to do that.
I'll show you.
Okay.
Since you've been off social media for so long, I do feel like that you probably have missed some stuff over the last few years.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Which is, I get it, because I didn't get on social media until 2016. And I just remember always feeling a little behind because everyone knew everything. Now, I also still don't know a lot of things because I don't scroll a ton.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of reels just for entertainment, but I don't, especially on Facebook. I feel like that's where you see a lot of people's life information, and I don't get on and like scroll for a long time. So I kind of usually see my first post on Facebook and that's it.
Yeah.
So I still miss a lot, but my husband, he's the Facebook guy and he tells me the things.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we can embrace the oldish, because I think you can kind of just be like, oh, I don't know how to do this, and it's okay because you're oldish and it's cute.
Yeah.
But yes, I did see this and texted it to you.
You did. Yeah.
That's what I do. Of just some fun kind of get to know you questions. So the first question for you is, if you lost me in a supermarket, where's the first place that you'd look?
Chocolate aisle. No doubt. Am I right?
So I was thinking about this because for me, I think I have to say what store.
Oh, for sure.
Because I feel like that makes a difference. And for me, Whole Foods is kind of, I think, for me, the only one I can even picture where everything is.
Yeah.
And
we have to give the people a little bit of understanding that where we live, we don't have a ton of grocery stores to choose from, especially where you live. You have a Kroger or a Whole Foods, right? And because of the way we eat, because of like all of our food allergies and sensitivities and things, Whole Foods is kind of a lot of times the best place.
Yes. I used to go to multiple places. Like I used to go here to get this and go here to get this and go here to get this. But then eventually I just figured out how to kind of either, consolidate it there rather than, and I do still go to Sam's or Costco for just some things, but for the, week to week, day to day, like, figuring out dinner and stuff. Yeah. So it is, so in the back, I'm sure you know this, in the back corner of, Whole Foods is kind of their baked goods, but they have like a table with vegan stuff.
Yes, they do.
So today I'm not gluten free. I can do gluten, but eggs and dairy still aren't my friends. And so the vegan section is my jam because that's how I always know there's no eggs.
Right.
But it does have the gluten. So, and there is some good. I mean, our favorite little cookies and stuff are the chocolate aisle that you talked about. So I feel like either the chocolate aisle or that back corner where the vegan table is.
I totally get that. Have you looked in the refrigerated section there? There's these tiramisu. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, those are so good. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, and all like the Bobos stuff.
Yes, I do love that too. There's another
stuff.
one. I can't remember the brand, but they make these oatmeal little cookies. They're like cranberry and oatmeal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yes.
People are gonna think all we eat is dessert.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes.
It's fine. We do eat protein and vegetables.
We do, but we do have a lot of stories that revolve around sugar.
We do. That's true. That's true. That's good too, though. Yeah.
It's balance. It's all about balance.
I agree. Yeah. So, okay, in all transparency with the people, my iPad died. So tell me, let me read the next question. If we switched lives for a day, what do you think that I would struggle with the most? Oh, but I feel like, is that still my answer that I would struggle with? Oh, no, that's your answer. What do you think I would struggle with from your life? If I was living your life. Yeah.
Wow, I really should have thought about good answers for these before. Well, okay, so if it's it's my full life, I would say just because it would be for a day and you don't have any entry or anything would be the school.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to do some reading and write a paper or something.
For sure. Yeah. So, no, and that's what I would think too. Totally your school, because you've been in that for over a year.
Yeah, right at a year.
And even though I want to say I know everything you know, I don't, because I haven't been reading all the books and all the things. You've told me a lot, but that does not qualify me to be in your place in school for sure.
Yeah.
And you're a schoolgirl. You like school and you like to score really well on all of your assignments and tests and things. And I was the girl in school that was all about socializing. I did actually really well in school, but I didn't try at all. So I don't think that makes me smart or anything. I just think that I did well. But I was about the social aspect of school.
Yeah. I do think if there's a difference too of when you decide to go back for a postgraduate degree.
That's valid.
That I love this. I'm so excited. I love mental health. I love, the idea of counseling and psychology. And so that makes a huge difference because I'm so invested in what I'm doing. I understand the reason why I'm doing it and the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's also fascinating. So it does make a difference. I would say I was like that in elementary school, and then middle school and high school, things got a little sideways, but it definitely brought out the little girl in me that I remember that cried when she got her first B and all that stuff.
I didn't cry about any grades. I do remember when I was getting certified to be a nutrition coach that I definitely, all the tests, I was like, I have to make an A. And so I think you're right. There is something about being an adult and kind of taking responsibility for your own stuff, right?
Yes.
It's
There's
not
just
just
a maturity
sure. Well, it's not just like school. I mean, in school, kindergarten through 12th grade, I mean, you have to be there. So you may or may not be the kid that cares whether you're there or not.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. This is funny. I actually have an answer for you for this one. If you had to change my legal name, what would you call me?
Ooh, that is so hard. Mm-hmm. I mean, is it supposed to be a funny name or?
Well, I have an answer for you just because.
Oh, because I know you. I know because you like
a
different middle name for me.
Yes. So your name would be Cara Joy.
Yes.
Instead of Cara Michelle.
Yeah, because I told you that my mom was going to name me Cara Joy, and she had a friend that talked her out of it.
I know.
And then my mom was so sad because months after I was born, she found out that her grandmother had a baby that died, whose name was Joy. And so she was just super sad that wasn't my name, but it's fine.
You can change your name. I mean, we could go take care of that next week.
Yeah, I just don't need any more chaos in my life.
Okay,
that's a lot of paperwork to deal with.
It is a lot of paperwork.
Okay, but your name, I mean, I think, gosh, I'm not good at this kind of stuff because I feel like when I see someone, your name is your name. I think I'm going to pick like a different pretty name for you versus a funny name. I don't know. I love the name Elaine. I think it's very pretty.
It's pretty.
I also, let me think, what other names do I love? I don't know. This one's really hard.
Well, maybe it's because it was meant to be my question because I knew a good answer for it.
Yeah. Okay, well then what's the next one? Let me see. Oh,
gosh.
Oh, if you could ban one thing from my wardrobe forever, what would it be?
I like the way, I want to borrow all your clothes. I would ban something so I could have it.
That's so funny. You did ask me the other day if next summer we could swap clothes.
Yes, which I think that actually is a great plan, ladies. We find someone who matches your size, that like every other year, every couple of years, you like swap clothes. And so it's like you're saving on budgeting because you're not buying
clothes. You say that, but I still think we're going to buy just as many clothes.
Well, we'll see.
So I mean, you presented it in front of Jeff, and you said it will save you money.
He liked it a lot.
I don't think he did. Oh. I think he knows me, and I think he knows I'm still going to buy just as many clothes.
I would ban your blue sandals that you wore to Germany.
Only because you want them.
It doesn't say that I can't have them. It just says what would I ban.
Okay, all right. Okay. Next summer you can have those sandals because I have had those sandals for literally years.
Oh, well, it's time.
And what's so funny is that
pass them on.
I bought them because they're so cute, but I literally hardly ever wore them. Yeah. And then this summer I feel like I've worn them quite a bit more. But next summer they're yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard it here.
That's right.
Everybody said.
That's right.
So if I'm going to say this one. What would your 13-year-old self think of you now?
Ooh. Well, my 13-year-old self would not think I was married to Jeff because at the time I was dating another boy that I was madly in love with. And we actually had an off and on relationship for, 4 or 5 years. We started dating when I was 12, which is stupid, ridiculous. Like, I don't even know why you let a 12-year-old date anyone. But we went to a very small church at the time. And, he was in my youth group. I think in that youth group, there were 3 boys and 5 girls. So we sort of passed the boys around a lot. It was terrible. And it was a very pure relationship, because we were young and we were very much into the whole purity culture back then. And but it's still a little stupid that at 12 I was dating a 14-year-old. But I really did think I was going to marry him. And so, yeah, I think my 13-year-old self would not believe that I was here married to Jeff.
Yeah, like who?
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me see.
This is the last one. Which memory do you revisit the most? Okay, I want to ask it this way. Which memory of our friendship do you revisit the most?
Well, recently I feel like it's been the cookie dough. I'm just trying to work through the shame and condemnation between the cookie dough and the wall shame. That is a hard question off the top of my head. I would probably say, okay, I know. So, no, it's a fun one. So it goes back to last summer of after you had your accident.
Okay.
And I've never thought of myself as a risk taker, but when it comes to like friendship stuff, because I feel like this was a bit of a risk, kind of like the cookie dough, even though I wasn't really thinking about the cookie dough being a risk. But I sent you a little gift.
You did.
It was actually for your sweet dog, Scout. I sent him a little chew toy.
You did.
And it brought a lot of laughter because it made basically it was a poop emoji. I'll just go ahead and say it. I sent that to her dog. And it made fart noises when you squeaked it.
Yes.
And I thought it was hysterical. And I knew it was a bit of a gamble that
because I was in a very fragile emotional state.
And I wasn't sure if you and Jeff would think it was funny or vulgar or crude, or again, it's another kind of. But for me, I thought it was funny, and I think sometimes when we're in hard seasons, joy is a big deal to me. A big theme of my life is joy, and especially finding joy in the hard places and what joy looks like. And so for me, I just, yes, I like to go for the laugh, but I know that it's important. And I don't know if God is real and he's with us always, then that means that joy is with us always.
Yeah.
And so, but I do remember thinking, I wonder if this is going to not offend, but be like, okay, that's Sarah. She's a little I'm not sure about her. And so I do think, I think about that and of just, I think again, that was that season where the Lord was really just doing something special, but that was one of those, a bit of a gamble, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't bring it to you.
No.
I had Amazon.
Yeah, you shipped it via Amazon, and I opened it and I was like, what in the world is this? And then there was a little paper inside, which is funny because with Amazon, I feel like when you send someone a gift, half the time that paper does get in there and half the time it doesn't, but yeah, that little poop emoji toy, we still have it. Scout loves it. And it was funny. It was definitely funny at the time, which brings up a whole nother point. You are a very good gift giver. You're very intentional, and I feel like every gift you give us, it has this thought and meaning behind it. And so that's great. I love it. It was funny, and I needed it for sure. I needed something to laugh about during that season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise we wouldn't be here. So, okay. So when we think about That's Why We're Friends podcast, and we talk about oldish, I think the big thing is okay, what are we here to talk about? What are we doing? So what are some of the topics that you feel like are going to be on the radar for us?
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to talk about a lot of vulnerable topics. We're going to talk about our bodies, which is a lot. It's a lot. It may take us a few months to get there, but we're definitely going to get there. Changing bodies, perimenopause, menopause. It's just that season of life that we're in and all of our friends around us are in, right? I think it's going to be a lot about our adult kids and the difficulty of adult kids and the fun. Yeah. It's so much fun to have adult children, but there's these boundaries and these rules that are a little bit unspoken that we don't know until they tell us, that we did something a little cringy or whatever. But so it's going to be our marriages. We definitely, want to talk about how we're exhibiting Christ in our marriages and even in the hard stuff, right? Just this week, I think we've both gone through just a little bit of difficulty, not struggle really, but just our husbands can be a little, just like all of us, right? This week it was them. Sometimes it's us, for sure. Often it's us. Often it's me. I know that. I mean, I think 2 weeks ago, I was saying to people, I've been such a terrible wife this week. And so I just think the honesty of, our marriages are both great. They're amazing. And yet we still have things. And so we want to encourage people with that. I know that's going to be a lot about faith, God and his faithfulness for sure, because we've both just seen him show up and he is always there for us. And he always just shows up and he always works things out. And so I think just the combination of all those things in our lives and what we feel like that other people our age who love the Lord are also dealing with. And it's just, I think that throughout the life of a woman, there are these things that are just, they haven't been talked about. I always remember going through something as a woman and thinking, why did no one tell me this? And so we want to just be completely open and honest with what we're dealing with, and hopefully it will encourage and help someone. Yeah. Did I miss anything that you think we're going to talk about?
No, I mean, I think the friendship piece, I think even, friendship in this season, maybe, making new friends in this season, because you never know what you're walking through and new situations. And so what is authentic Christ-like healthy friendship look like? And, talking about marriage and family, I think one of the things that is awesome is just the different perspectives. Like I said, we come from a blended family. And so that experience of, being stepmama, having stepkids, and kind of, walking out the blended journey. I love getting to have both, like that's not something that we have in common. And so I love that we have those like different experiences with that. I think that's great. I was single till I was 36. And so that's definitely, a different journey as well. And so I love just some of those different aspects, health and mental health. I think obviously that's huge. And so really, I think the reality is it's kind of everything. It's everything. Mix it up in a bag and, throw it out there and yes, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited.
I know, me too.
Yay.
And one of the fun things, I think from the beginning where we talked about, okay, what is this? What are we doing? What's the heart behind this? Why are we doing this? And I know encouragement was one of the words that always resonated. And one of the things that we heard at our church almost a year ago was kind of given this assignment going into the holidays to go enjoy the life that God has given you.
That's right.
And that just, for whatever reason, man, that just like hit me. And I really carried that through that holiday season and into the next year of, man, am I enjoying today? Like, no matter what else is happening, but am I enjoying the life that God gave me? Because there is enjoyment and joy to be had. And so I think we're hoping that also is going to encourage women in the things that we're going to talk about, but also intentionally being encouraged to, okay, how can we go and enjoy the life that God gave us?
Yeah.
And so my question for you is, over this next week, what's one thing that you're going to do or experience that is going to be part of enjoying the life that God gave you?
Yeah. I'm super excited because my husband and I celebrated 30 years of marriage last November, actually. So we're a little behind, but because of the accident and everything, we are going to go have anniversary pictures done tomorrow. And I'm so excited because he's going to wear a tux and I'm going to wear like a formal white dress. It's funny because right before my son and daughter-in-law got married, she asked me to put on my wedding dress and it actually fits everywhere except in my rib cage. So I think it's just CrossFit makes girls have a wider rib cage, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with my body, but I was a little bummed because I thought it would be super fun to put my wedding dress on, but that's okay. I'm gonna wear that white dress I bought, and I'm so excited about those pictures. I just think it's gonna be so much fun.
It is gonna be fun.
Yeah. What are you gonna do to enjoy the life God gave you?
So I am gonna have a couple of date nights this weekend, but with two different guys.
Oh, scandalous.
I know, scandalous. I'm having dinner with my stepson, with our oldest, tomorrow night. Just catch up.
Just the two of you?
Yeah. His wife's got plans. And so we're going to go have dinner and just, hear all the things. He's, we've both been in school. And so just catch up. And then later in the weekend, I'll have date night with my husband. So,
that's awesome.
So looking forward to
That's so much fun. Wow. That's great. I need to make a date with just my son. That's a really good idea. Yeah. Yay. Okay. All right. Well, until next time.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why we're friends.
That's why we're friends.
Thanks so much for spending time with us today on That's Why We're Friends.
We hope you laughed, felt encouraged, and are walking away with a little more hope for your day.
If you love this episode, make sure to follow the podcast so you never miss what's next.
And share it with a friend who needs a little encouragement, because that's why we're friends.
Some products or services we mention may be paid promotions. Any advice shared should be confirmed with a qualified professional. Our conversations and opinions are meant for encouragement and entertainment only.